Capex 1.1 billion, you would need to go to the debt markets. When exactly are you thinking of that? Because special dividend would be covered from whatever funds you have in the coffers, right?
Correct.
How much would actually be needed from the debt market next year?
We haven't spelled that out in absolute terms, but I mean the calculations give you ranges, but it's not going to be a problem, otherwise we wouldn't have done it. So it is not a speedy, highly leveraged move. It is a cautious step towards a balance sheet that looks a little bit better from a capital management point of view, from an optimal balance sheets point of view. So it's one step at a time. That has been our ambition, and we are getting a lot of good feedback on that these days, that we haven't put ourselves in a dependency to the debt markets at this stage.
I'm just curious because this excites us, you know, that you're going to the debt markets. You know, how much exactly out of 1.1 or 1.3 billion you actually need to go? Is it going to be through a bond issue? Or?
We're evaluating that now, what type of debts we're going for. But we have had in the past a frame put in place, a 700 million CP MTN program. We haven't used that. Of course, now we're looking into how is that what we're going to use for this exercise or something else? Not announced. When we decide, we will announce it.
The 700 million. 700 million is already there, right?
It's there, but it's not used.
Not used. So
we have 200 million debt on our balance sheet today.
Okay. Wow, you're very good as a company. Yeah?
So that's you can say it's good, but it's also from a capital management point of view, you can afford some leverage, but not too much, and that's where we're heading to now, cautiously, step by step. Some people have argued in the past that we should have moved much faster.
Yeah, it's not good to.
I think these people have changed their minds and now understand why we're taking it a bit slow.
I was just hoping that you would tell me like 30% of the 1.1 billion, that's where you will get it from the markets, or 70%.
It's not a major part of it. It's going to be a smaller part of it.
Small part means like?
A smaller part, because the cash flow is so strong still. And we don't need to draw down a big amount of debt and sit on that cash. So it's going to be a smaller part of that amount.
So you don't want to take too much debt as well.
Exactly.
You know, the gearing goes up and the company, you have problems later with an economic downturn.
Exactly. You know, you got to manage this now because it's so unpredictable in a way how the market slowdown will impact the players. We have our base case belief on what we have guided you on. Of course, we have a worst case scenario, what happens if things go even worse. And even in that scenario, we should not be putting our balance sheet at risk. That's how we think. So we're cautious capital management views from Digi.
While earnings may come under pressure, just like any other telco in the world, what would you do in terms of costs? Do you think your cost base is very good, or do you think there's further room for improvements within the organization and your offerings to your customers?
Digi has been a growth story in the past, and the focus has been on grabbing market share and growing revenues, mainly. When I say that, I say mainly, because we also, of course, have put emphasis on the cost side, but not having that as the highest priority. So if you asked me 3-4 months ago, I would say that revenue growth and market share is still our primary objective. So if I have to compromise on the margins, I would do that. Future might be different. We're still going for growth, but when it comes to cost, we have to be extremely cost focused and cost conscious. And we are getting there now. We haven't been there in the past. So it's definitely part of the new Digi going forward, that we're taking costs much more seriously. So using the expression need to have rather than nice to have. And I think when you grow and when you focus on growth, maybe there are a little bit too much nice to haves in the company, in the organization. And that we're going to get rid of. So we're going to do much more need to have and much more justifications on our spends.
That's an excellent move in times of a scenario.
It's healthy.
You have had such a good run up on your share price. Obviously, like you say, it's a growth story, but you also have a sad part of it's coming down, and people are worried. Some people are worried whether is it really a good stock to hold Is there really a very good story given the market now? What is your take on that?
My take is that I normally don't comment on the share price because I comment on the operations and my views on the future of the company and also the macro indicators impacting us. What that turns into a share price is not really anything I can do about that. So therefore it doesn't make sense to comment if it's good or bad or so. The only observation I can make is that our share price, relative terms, have held up fairly well against the index, the general index, and also against other telcos in the region. So I don't think we have, in that sense, suffered more. We have actually suffered less on the share price than many other companies. So and then it's for others to judge whether we are expensive or cheap. That's my answer on the share price.
But would you say it's still a growth stock?
Again, that's for you to evaluate. I think we should be an attractive combination because, as I say, we're still growing. I still believe in the growth of revenues, and that means also growth of earnings. And that also means a continued yield story. So my personal view from the company side is that, yes, it's a balanced yield and growth stock. But again, it's for others to judge, for others to make those calls.
Tell me about 3G. Yeah, you're going to launch it. But in terms of preparation work, what is being done up to now?
On the 3G rollout? Yeah. No, we're a large part of our organization is involved in rolling out 3G, making sure that we get out there in the right areas with the right quality and the right speeds, and it's happening according to our plans, generally speaking. Of course, there is always a challenge for an organization to take on such a big thing on top of everything else we're doing. But I'm just proud of the people that are, of our employees that are delivering on these challenges. It's every day people are just overachieving on the expectations. This is fantastic.
And the initial rollout is going to be in Klang Valley. That all that, whatever you have said, remains. There's not going to be further change in that until you actually roll that out.
We haven't specified officially where we're rolling out, where we will go to market. Generally, I mean, we should be where the big demand is, but not forget about where our customers are and where the pent-up demand is as well. So we're trying to balance that when we roll out and go to market, but nothing officially communicated around where and when.
You're keeping all the cards to your chest. You
want not
like
all cards, but I can drop a few.
Surprise the marketplace.
We drop a few here and there, give a bit of a preview here and there, but we're trying to keep the secret cards to our chest for a little bit longer.
You have a tie-up with Time.com. Time.com is now in the process of having new people on top, and their focus is going to be broadband. How are you going to work with them so that your offerings actually offer a difference in the marketplace? You say there's pent-up demand for broadband. How are you going to take advantage of all this?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Afzal, the new CEO of Time. I think since he joined, we've also increased our discussions and cooperations around our agreements. I'm looking forward to work with him and Time on our joint efforts. What concretely that means, we'll keep to ourselves. We're talking about that between Time and Digi. But when it comes to delivering on our broadband needs, fiber is needed to deliver on the capacity and quality that we expect to give to you as a consumer and our enterprise customers. So we're evaluating how to deliver on that throughout the value chain, because that has been a problem in the past, I believe, that you have to deliver throughout the value chain, not only the radio access, not only the access network or the core network, but through the whole value chain with the IP transit all the way. Otherwise you will feel a slow internet experience, and that we don't want you to have. We want you to have a fast and reliable experience when you use Digi services, including internet services.
What would you say the state of broadband is in the country now?
The state of broadband is still poor quality and experience, I would say. I'm glad that we have the ambition that we have as an industry, and supported by the SKMM and supported by the ministry, the broadband ambition must go, the broadband penetration must go up to 50% quickly. The initial ambition was 2010, and we just have to stay course. I think the HSBB project should be used in order to enhance that ambition and to create competition in the marketplace for fixed broadband. We're competing in the wireless broadband space now, and that's where we can do our magics when we go to market. And hopefully we can also use the fixed side in bringing the total internet experience to the next level. Because I believe we owe the Malaysians a better internet experience. So our motto is kind of bring internet to the people and bring that as a great experience to the people.
Mm-hmm.